Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Dana Scranton, and welcome to 8 Minute Wisdom. Well, today's discussion in this episode is going to be about defining the world. Look, one of the things that we as entrepreneurs do is we seek to change the world. Now, sometimes when you're talking to somebody and they ask, what is it you do as an entrepreneur? You say, well, I'm out to change the world. Well, the first thing they think about is the globe, the entire world, the sum of all that is on planet Earth. But that's not really where we focus, is it? As an entrepreneur, one of the best things you can do to focus your time, energy, enthusiasm, and all the various assets that you own or resources you have access to is to define the world you wish to change. Look, change is opportunity. There are needs. Needs prompt the need for change, and change creates the means and the methods and the routes to accomplish that change to bring about the end objective. It's kind of a logical sequence. But think about this as a solo entrepreneur, somebody that's operating on their own, sole proprietor, no employees, but you have access to a myriad of resources that you can tap into to actually let you change the world, but you have to define the world first. So you may have heard me say this before, but we're going to go into a little more depth here. The purpose of defining the world is to define the thing that excites you, the passion, the purpose, the vision, the thing that when you think about it, you can see yourself making a difference. It's something that you feel you can throw your energy into, and the outcome is a worthy outcome that serves humanity, that serves animals, that serves the environment. Whatever particular area that you focus on, we call that your world. Okay. You do that because within that sphere, like here, I've got children. Okay. Let's say that your focus is you want to make children's lives happy, prosperous, and healthy, no matter where they are in the world. Let's say that's your objective. Well, to do that, there are certain things that you might determine are essential and necessary to bring that about. And the means of bringing those things about defines your actions, your plan, where you put your energy, time, focus, money. And so that's your world. That's the world you seek to serve. Define your world and then set about changing it. To a certain extent, you might call it niche marketing, niche focus. But a niche is not something that is so narrow that it can't be mistaken by anything else. You can define your world as broadly as you wish, but understand that the broader the focus, the more difficult it is to hit the spot, the target. If you can make the definition of the world you seek to change just small enough to make an impact, but big enough to have it noticed and become perhaps a pervasive trend, then that might be the sweet spot. You don't want to make it so small necessarily that it's insignificant. It feels good. You think you can do it, and that's okay. You want to go bigger than that. You want to play bigger. Here's the caveat. It may be that your particular need is a single individual. It might be a child, a significant other. It might be an aging parent or an aging friend, and they become the focus of your world. You want to make their life special in a certain way. There may be conditions, and that's the focus of your entrepreneurial efforts. You see, that's a little different. That individual is the focus, is the outcome. The means by which you achieve that now through your entrepreneurial venture may be by defining a world that is comprised of people exactly like the one you're trying to help, the one you're trying to serve. Because that's the focus, to serve the one. But in order to serve that one, if you help others serve their one, then you accomplish your goal. So there are different ways to look at this. You have the world that is the focused outcome you seek, and then you have the world, the population of things, causes, opportunities that allow you as an entrepreneur to serve them, to receive the rewards, both personal and monetary, for having done so, and then that can be focused on the outcome of the specific world that you're trying to serve. So you can define your world or worlds however you need to in order to accomplish that which you seek. But process here in defining your world is to narrow it down, to understand the target, to understand the needs, the wants, and desires of what you're trying to serve. Now let's talk about the environment for a second. When you talk global change, climate change, sure, it's changing, always changing, but there are some factors called humanity, industrial world development, third world development, where things are just not happening in the perhaps best environmental way. But let's look at this a little bit differently, okay? Along the way, people are influenced by the climate. So you may say, well, I am serving humanity by being a climate warrior. Well, which niche of humanity would you like to serve? Because if you can identify a very narrow area of the population of planet Earth, their needs that are being impacted by climate change, then you can focus on coming up with a way to serve them through specific means and methods and opportunities that you focus on as a solo entrepreneur. Now, that may sound like a grandiose objective because that's something that most organizational entrepreneurs play in, but it's not to say that you can't play in that same arena just as a solo entrepreneur, doing what you need to do to bring the means to the people who would benefit. So that's a different way to look at this giant problem. And I'm just using climate change as a metaphor. This giant problem is hard to get your head around, but narrowing it down to who would be the recipients of something that you could impact. Now, it may not be that you impact the world today, tomorrow, in a year, in 5 years. Your journey may end up being a little bit longer than that, but along the way, the objective is to benefit the people you serve, and in so doing, you are rewarded for doing that. So, got to define your world. When you do that, things start to get easier. So that's today's episode. I hope you got some valuable insight from this. And it's just one of the philosophies that I think is essential in order for an entrepreneur to succeed. Define your world and then set about changing it. All right. Well, thanks once again for being here. And we'll see you out there on that opportunity-laden frontier of entrepreneurship where we get to serve whoever we want. Take care. We'll see you in the next episode.